or they're just desperate, or because the women that did tell me that, a lot of them were really hot, really attractive, and from my experience also, when you have HSV2, you can shed, which is you're shedding the virus. Like you can shed like a week or two before you actually start feeling symptoms or showing symptoms. So the people that you think don't have it may have it. So it's hard to tell if someone has it. And a lot of the STD testing in California, they don't test for HSV1 or HSV2. They'll do the other stuff, the chlamydia, the HIV, I forget, gonorrhea, all that, but they won't really test for it. And they say it's just so damn prevalent in California with the HSV1 and 2.
And do you think the women that have it, were they, like, would you say they were more attractive women? Like just across the board. Go ahead.
Yeah, in general. In general, it was really high line.
I have a question. This is Doug and PA's question, not Pearl's question. How many other women that came into your clinic were black women?
The one that came in a lot, she had HIV. Really cool lady though, super cool lady. But it was mostly the one that I saw. I lived in where I worked at. I'm not going to say where. It was mostly gay white men, older men. It wasn't really a lot of young men. The young men.
Sweeten your summer at Paris Baguette with strawberry pistachio pastries and cake, freshly made to make your day. Pair them with an expertly crafted pistachio latte or cold brew. Stop into your local Paris Baguette today or order online at parisbaguette.com.
And then a week after that, and he was his hands had pustules. I think he had gonorrhea for like a long time, and he was just really in bad shape, and he couldn't stop having sex. And then this other guy, I'm not going to say his ethnicity or anything, he was actually HIV positive and Hep C positive, and he would come in, and then a month later he'd come in and he had chlamydia in his anus and in his throat. And they tell him to stop having sex, and then he wouldn't. He would just come in 3 months later, he'd be infected again. It just was just nonsense. And it was a young gay man, and I felt bad for them, but it's hard for them to control, I guess, their sexuality. I don't know, like they just couldn't keep their pants on, I guess. But the older men, they were just coming in for their regular schedule visits, every 6 months, it just depends how sick they were on their viral load. Or basically the viral load is the amount of HIV virus you have in your system, and you check that depends on how bad you are or how sick you are. The medication now is really, really good. You can take the medication to where your HIV, your viral load is so low where it's undetectable, where you're testing negative with HIV, but you have to be, I forget the name of it, it's been a while since I worked there.
How often do they transmit it? Because when I was looking on ChatGPT, it was saying you're really not likely to get it if you hook up with someone that has it, but that seems wrong, but I'm like, I don't know.
It's from what I remember in the studies is that like vaginal intercourse, it's pretty difficult to get. It's when you get into the blood contact. So anal sex you have a lot of that blood on blood contact. That's also when you have HSV1, 2, there's sores there, right? So if you have a higher chance of catching something because you actually have a wound. So something gets into that wound, like a disease, like HIV or something else. So that's why they say you're at higher risk of getting HIV if you have HSV1 and HSV2, you're having sex. So it's really that blood on blood contact that's really the thing about it. But yeah, there's also like a tracking system in California. Once you have HIV, you're tracked for the rest of your life through the state. So if you're like, say you're homeless or you leave the state or you're in jail, they have to like figure out where you're at so they can keep you taking the medication to keep you below the HIV level, the HIV viral load where you can give it to people. So it's like, so if someone disappears, they go to jail, we have to find them, figure out where they're at, and have them keep taking the medication.
And do most of them live like a normal life now?
Oh yeah. They're taking their meds. They have normal life. It used to be like in the 80s, the medication was so bad. It was really tough on your liver and kidneys. But the medication it's gotten so good that you don't have to worry about that unless you're doing other drugs or you're an alcoholic or something like that.
So I think for Doug's question, he was asking about the herpes. If like what percent were B-dubs?
It was low for one, but where I worked at was it was predominantly low African American community.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
I couldn't tell you. Yeah,
It is the. Were you like right in San Francisco, like right there?
Yeah,
that's really expensive though. So
yeah, exactly. If I worked in Oakland, I'm pretty sure it'd be fully that.
Yeah, I would imagine. Okay.
So for the would you say that most? I don't know if you even like in your job. Did you even have a chance to talk to them about how honest they were with the people they slept with? I'm just curious if you had any information on how like honest people are with it.
The younger
Let
ones,
me add to
they're one.
I'll add to her question. Not only those questions, but did you have any like optional questionnaire questions about disclosure or how often they talk to their partners about what they have? Is there like
It's hard to say. I didn't see a lot of younger people there. It was mostly the older white men, but most of them, they actually had their own partners. When people did come in for random testing, it was, did they just want to get their HIV test? No questions asked, that kind of thing. There was questions of how many people they slept with. I remember one guy, he was a cop, and he says he forgot how many people he slept with. He just wanted to get tested. Other people would come in just to, hey, I need my warts burned off. I need my warts taken care of. Like they actually did their warts and get treated, and okay, I'm gonna go about my business, even though they're probably HPV positive, which is genital warts, which I think 4 of those types of genital warts can actually lead to cancer. So it's for men. It's really important if a woman has HPV, because the HPV you can get throat cancer from HPV. Of those 4, there's 4 variants. There's like, I don't even know. There's like maybe 30 to 20 to 30 different types of HPV.
It's 16, 18, the one you don't want, right? That's the.
No, I forget. There's at least 4. Maybe I forget how many are cancerous, but there's at least 4 or 5 that are cancerous.
See if ChatGPT says what strands of HPV give men throat cancer. I'm curious, what anecdotally, and maybe because there's a lot of gay guys, but like, what percent of women do you think have STDs if you had to guess based on your experience at the clinic?
A lot. There's this other STD that I keep forgetting. There's this other one I forget. Trichomonas. That one, like damn near 80% of the women that came in for STD checks had that.
What is that?
It's hard to explain. That's all. Look it up. So they call it trick. Everybody calls it trick in the clinic.
We're talking about stuff that we didn't even know about. Yeah.
Trichomonas. Yeah. And it leaves like a stinky smell on a woman's JJ, basically, is one of the symptoms. But there's tons of
trichomoniasis. Is a commonly STI caused by a parasite called trichomonas vaginalis. Is typically spread through sexual contact and is treatable with antibiotics. I'm looking at the pictures.
Yeah, it causes a foul-smelling vaginal discharge. Exactly. That's the biggest symptom. So that big stink, that's probably trick. So that's a telltale sign. Hey, I'm not going to go down on this plate girl right here. Because some guys are desperate. Like I hear stories. Oh yeah, I even though it smelled, I was still hitting it. Because it's better to have a JJ. That type of mentality.
What percent of guys do you think get herpes if they get into a relationship with a girl that has it?
I don't know. I just know a lot of the women that did come in with HSV. They would tell me like the guys wouldn't care because she was so hot. And I'm like, what? Like, what do you mean they didn't care? Like, they didn't want to put on a condom? Like, no, they just.
They didn't
like,
want to put on a condom.
No, they were all right with it, which was. I'm like, oh my god, guys are that fucking desperate.
I know.
I'm sorry.
I know one guy that didn't. He said he hooked up with a girl that had it, but to be fair, he was like 57, 50. I feel like at that age, they're like.
That's another thing. Like older people, they don't give a f about those STDs. They're like, oh, I'm dying anyways. I don't give a f.
No, they're like nursing homes.
Oh yeah. I worked at a nursing home too, and they're hooking up. They were hooking up big time.
I'm sorry, hon.
They're hooking up big time, and it's at a nursing home. It's like, well, they're adults. Let them, unless they don't have the mental capacity. They're like, well, they can do what they want. And so that's another whole other.
Where do the warts come? Like, if a guy's hooking up with a girl, is it easily visible? Like the warts, are they big?
Some aren't. Some show up like on genitalia or on the side of the legs, on the penis. There's different types, I guess. They show differently on different people too. Like different races, it shows up on the skin differently. It could be a big old wart like on your hand, but it could be small and little. It could be a bunch of little ones around the penis. It's all kinds of. It's a huge variance.
I was
Have you ever seen that one Instagram reel where it's this woman? She's in a salon, like a waxing salon, and the wax lady's like, that smell down there, man, I can't wax you. She's like, well, I just got out of the gym. He's like, that's not the gym. You need to go to the doctor. And she's like, well, I can't believe you're not going to give me, I'm going on vacation tomorrow. And she's like, man, I am not going to wax you. You got a discharge down there and like, it smells gross. And she's like, I can't believe, and she tried to cuss the lady out. And the lady's like, I don't feel comfortable giving you a wax. You need to leave.
I was just curious if you think that it's like easy to identify if you're hooking up with somebody, like if a guy's hooking up with a girl or vice versa. If there's any like, I don't know, best practices, places to look so you don't catch anything.
Just keep using condoms until when you feel comfortable to take it off, get the STD panel, get the whole HSV 1 and 2 and all that before you even think about having.
Oh, that's my next question.
Yeah.
Like, do you think the guy that said he told me he got herpes from wearing, even though he had a condom and they hooked up once? Do you believe him or no?
Yeah, you can shed on your legs, but it's possible. He could have, he probably could have kissed her and she had it on her face.
Well, he said it was the second one, not the first.
Yeah, the other thing too is that I think you can get HSV2 on your face too. I'm not sure.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think someone that has an HSV2 on their face, and then I think it can show up on your vaginal, on your lower extremities. I'm not sure on that, but you can. Yeah. But there has been. I've read stuff where you can be shedding on your, because you can have HSV2 on your legs. It doesn't necessarily have to be on your genitalia. It can be on next to your genitalia, basically, or it can be on your arm. It can. We've seen people have sores on their arms, and it was HSV1 or HSV2.
And if, in your experience, what percent of people that you came in that got STDs were wearing a condom? If you don't,
I couldn't tell you, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty low. Yeah, it's pretty low.
It says 16 is the most common cause of HPV throat cancer in both men and women. It's responsible for 90% of HPV cancers. Other high-risk types like 31, 33, 35, 52, and 58. But these are much rarer forms of cancer for symptoms found. I think 16, 18 are the ones you don't want to get.
That's good. It could be rare here, but once you start going to Thailand or Africa, then it totally changes. Even with AIDS, you can have a different variants of HIV. There's like a rare type of HIV or a different type of HIV that the medications can't treat in Africa, like that AIDS variant or HIV is different from the one in the U.S.